All right, we are just about ready here to get started with our next match, which is a race of Metroid Zero Mission between myself, the good Jake Ward, and Graybash. So this is actually a rematch because in the tournament back in what was it, October, I think. Um, but me and Grave went head to head, and so this is going to be a rematch, and we'll see how it goes. How are you
Poorly,
feeling, Grave?
poorly. It will go poorly for me again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really that practiced with it as well, so we'll see how it goes for me. But
And I don't know about you. There are definitely some safety saves I plan on taking for this one.
I will definitely
That
be
I would
taking some.
not necessarily be doing for PBs, but small mistakes cost you so much. And in this game, when you're really going for it, you don't save at all. So a death is literally the end of the run.
Yep. Yeah, so we will definitely be playing it a little bit safe, but hopefully we both get through it without any game overs. Do you have clean game audio so I can pipe your game audio through?
It might be a little bit quiet.
A little bit safe, but
Give me a
hopefully we both
second.
get
Let
through it
me
without it.
mute some stuff.
Looks like you've got Discord running through yours, so
Yeah, I'm gonna pop it. I can mute that real quick. Should be good.
all right, let's get that taken care of, and then we can get started. I guess we got NX Seco on the commentary, and Geis, are you going to be joining us for comms as well?
Yeah, I'll hang around and ask some silly questions.
All right, perfect. That's what we like to see. All right, so Grave, just let me know when I can pump the audio through.
You should be good.
Okay, yep.
Let me know if you need me to turn that up a little bit.
I think it sounds good to me. We can let the chat tell us. But yeah, once we get started here, I'm not going to be able to mess with it. So.
Yep.
I guess the menu is pretty quiet, so it's hard to tell. But let's go with that for now. If one of our commentators wants to do the countdown.
I'll tell you what, if someone decides that it's a little too low, I can fix it in game. I'm not worried about it.
All right.
I can fix it without causing issues.
Okay, you've got the confidence there. Okay, commentators, take it away.
All right, are both of our runners ready?
Yep.
All right, we'll go ahead and give you a countdown from 3, and in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, are both of our runners ready? Yep. See how long our stream delay lasts.
About 7.5 to 8 seconds.
Like it.
That's not too bad.
Yeah. We're just working through some opening cutscenes, as is normal for any Metroid game. Fans of the original Metroid will see a lot that looks familiar, as this is a remake of the original Metroid with some additional content towards the end.
According to Meow in our Discord, it seems someone's Discord is bleeding and echoing into the stream. Yeah, Meow wanted us to tell Jake and Grave. But aside from that, yeah, this game, as a Metroidvania, it does allow for a lot of different routes that could possibly be used to play through the whole game. But as for speedruns, this allows for a lot of different skips and just not choosing to pick up a whole lot of items that don't really benefit the runners at all. Just like right here at the start, they end up skipping long beam. It is a little bit easier to pick it up. It makes the hive room easier, but it's not necessary at all. So most runners will opt to just skip it entirely. And here pretty early on, we get to the first missile pack, which then lets us fight the charge beam mini boss. And it is possible to not kill this mini boss before it runs away, in which you would have to kill it later on, which does lose some time, but it's not the end of a run. You can just pick it up later. Jake does get down the first fight. And so does Grape. And as you can see, as Jake is moving throughout the platforms, he's holding a charge beam shot, fully charged, so that he can do what's called a pseudo screw, which means that it's basically a makeshift screw attack, so that you can jump or run into enemies, and be able to damage them with the charge beam. So you're able to jump through enemies instead of having to avoid all of them. But it only works for one enemy at a time, though. Right now, they're both going through the hive room, which is pretty notorious for being the most annoying room in the game. It's really easy to use too many missiles and then slow down this room significantly, because each hive missile each hive will take 3 missiles and maybe a little bit of extra damage. And if you miss a missile, then the room takes just way longer, because you have to dodge all these little bugs as they fly around. Oh no, Jake taking a death at the very beginning, just after the hive room. That's about a 4-minute time loss. That's going to be rough to make up. Not impossible for sure, but that is a significant chunk of time. Meanwhile, Grave makes it past the hive room, gets his the first E-tank, so that it fully refills his health. And now he's on his way to pick up bombs. This little room that Grave is in, just after getting bombs, you have to kill these little bugs by bombing them, and they don't always want to cooperate, so sometimes you can lose several seconds in that room just because the bugs do not want to either die to the bombs or attach to Samus's morph ball. And now that Grave has the bombs, he has to run all the way back down to where he first got missiles and fought the charge beam mini boss, and progress down from there. While Jake is just about to get back to the first missile pack, so a little bit of a high five coming up. Some more nice pseudo screws by Gravash as he platforms through this area. Jake gets a nice first encounter charge beam monster kill again. Now, the route for this game is a bit different from a casual playthrough, because there are a lot of intended skips that the developers put into this game. And so it makes it really nice for speedruns, because you can play the bosses out of the intended order, or the normal casual playthrough intended order. And so I believe typically on this game, we would normally, in a casual playthrough, you would kill Kraid first, and then after that you would kill Ridley and then go for Mother Brain at the end. But in the speedrun, we generally go for Ridley first, and then we do Kraid second. Jake trying his luck at the hive room again. Taking a bit of damage because these bugs are pretty difficult to manipulate. And he does have the correct amount of missiles. Oh, but he misses one, shooting it into the wall. So he will have to do a couple extra shots on the hive to get past this one. Usually 3 missiles, and I think one normal shot will take it out. And as you see, like the more you miss on these hives, the more that you'll have to do that little loop around the bottom. Oh, he's got 1 health left. Can he make it? Oh, he makes it through, but now he's got to get to the E-tank coming up. Nice, he's playing it safe. And he makes it to the E-tank, perfect. Meanwhile, Graveash goes up to this Chozo area and goes up to the ancient ruins here and picks up the grip, which allows him to grab onto ledges as he's traversing through the world, which allows him to get to areas that he wasn't previously able to. Now Jake is about to go and get his bombs. And a couple minutes ago, Grave picked up an unknown item. The game doesn't tell you what it is yet because you don't actually receive the full item until the very end of the game. But early on here, it lets you shoot some blocks that you weren't previously able to destroy. They instead will just die to normal shots or bombs. Grave making quick work of that little tunnel that you have to go through. If you can shoot or bomb the first and second blocks to get through that, but the fastest way to do it without long beam is to shoot the first block, and since your shot does not reach the second block, you can shoot a missile so that it'll go further and hit that block instead of having to roll over there and wait for the bomb to go off. Right now, Graveash is going through one of my more disliked rooms in the game because even just 1 or 2 easy mistakes in that room will drop you right into the lava there, and you can lose life really quick. And now Graveash has the Ice Beam, which lets him freeze enemies in place before they would normally die, to be able to add to more platforming abilities and also to more easily get around enemies instead of having to go all the way to kill them. You can just freeze them in place and go around them. And Grave gets a perfect bomb skip over that Chozo. Normally, you're supposed to roll into the grasp of that Chozo to be shown where to go next in the game, but it takes a lot of time, and as speedrunners, we don't need that information at all. And so you can bomb jump carefully over that Chozo grasp to skip that cutscene entirely. And right now, Grave is going through a developer-intended shortcut, which lets you get to really early. You're able to shoot these blocks that look normal to any normal player, but you can shoot through them and use the grapple or the grasp to climb up there, along with the ice beam on the ripper that he jumped on. And right now, Jake is grabbing that unknown item that I previously spoke about. As of right now, it says that it's incompatible with the current suit, but it does allow him to shoot these blocks. And so Graveash is going for the route that gets high jump early. Some players will opt to get high jump after after the Ridley fight when you come back through here. And I'm not sure which is faster. I prefer to get high jump early because it allows you to refill your health and ammo right there if you want to before the Imago fight here coming up. And the high jump boots also increase your platforming abilities and speed up certain sections. And I believe it also gives you spring ball on your morph ball, so you can jump while in morph ball now. I'm pretty sure. That might not be accurate, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works in this game.
No, you're right on that one.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Yeah, Jake really loves bomb jumping in this game. I don't know why I could not get the hang of it in this game. I like bomb jumping in Super Metroid, but in this game, the bomb jumping just does not work for me. But Jake really likes it as a movement ability, so he likes to do that a lot, and he's really good at it. Meanwhile, Grave Ash is on the Imago fight, where he has to shoot the tendrils at the top of this little bug thing, as it's shooting out these little spores coming from it. Some people like to refer to this boss as like off-brand Spore Spawn from Super Metroid. It is a little bit similar. Ooh, Grave runs out of missiles just towards the end of this boss fight, and you need the missiles to shoot the tendrils at the top there. Oh yeah, he was 2 missiles short. Great value Spore Spawn, yeah, exactly. And Jake is now making his way onto Ice Beam.
So I'm kind of looking at the routing for these guys as a whole. You mentioned we're doing bosses out of intended order. Is there anything else from a power-up or sort of skip perspective that these guys are looking at doing?
I don't really think so. I think oh, Jake takes another death. As far as
we get supers very early.
Oh yeah, there's that as well. I did forget about that one.
Okay, but otherwise we're more or less kind of doing the vanilla route, just fast.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the speedrun for this game is pretty well intended by the developers. Like a lot of the skips that are done for the speedrun of this are skips or like shortcuts that were put in from the developers instead of us actually breaking the game. Jake did have a safety save right before Ice Beam, so he did not lose all that much time at all. He now picks up his Ice Beam. Meanwhile, Grave is making his way towards Ridley. This room can be a real menace that Grave is going through because these monsters actually take quite a bit of damage to kill, and so you can't just pseudo screw all the way through them, through all of them, especially the side hoppers. And these flying bugs will take more hits than the yellow ones will take more hits than the green ones. So it can be kind of annoying trying to maneuver through all of this without taking too much damage, especially now since Grave only has 7 health right now. So he's got to stop and farm for a little bit. He's unfortunately just getting missile drops. There's a couple health drops, nice. Opts to only pick up 1. The platforming in this room that Grave is going in can be kind of difficult because if you fall down the bottom, you actually lose a lot of time because you can't get back up and you have to go all the way around again.
You lose like a minute on that one.
Yeah, it's horrible. Grave picks up his pack of super missiles. doing the smart thing by playing slowly through these side hoppers here. They do a lot of damage, and they take quite a bit of ammo to kill. So if you just use the missiles on the bottom ones, then you can just roll under the top ones. Oh, Jake taking another death. I'm not sure on what that was, but now he's back to, I believe, before Ice Beam. Yeah, a little bit before Ice Beam. This game, just by default, Metroid games are generally pretty difficult, especially for just in general side-scrolling adventure platformers. Like, Metroidvanias as a genre are known for being quite difficult. Like the Metroid games, the Castlevania games, and like Hollow Knight and stuff like that, they're known for not being a cakewalk.
Particularly in the 80% categories, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, because you go through this with very limited health and ammo. And since you're doing things out of order quite often, like you're fighting late game bosses earlier than early game bosses, so it's very easy to die several times.
And really, Ridley here that I'm about to do is easily the hardest boss in the game.
Yeah, I had a lot of trouble learning how to fight Ridley correctly. It took me a long time to be able to beat him without dying consistently, because the first week and a half that I was playing this game, I was dying to Ridley 2 or 3 times each run, which isn't the worst time sync because there's a save right before him, but it does still waste a lot of time each death. But the strategy for Ridley, weirdly enough, is to just walk up and just tank all of his attacks to your face and just spam him with missiles. If you're there with a couple of E-tanks and enough missiles, you should pretty easily be able to just melt him. But there is a little bit of nuance with how you position yourself and how you use your iframes.
Grave clearing that fight, no problem.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
And the main thing is making sure all 4 of your supers land, because that's a majority of the damage you do.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know how much supers deal in this game compared to other attacks, but in Super Metroid, supers deal 600 damage, whereas missiles only deal 100. So missing any of the supers is a huge damage loss.
Well, and Super Metroid even exacerbated it by giving Ridley a weakness to super missiles.
Yeah, exactly. He took double damage from super missiles in Super Metroid. Grave Ash now backtracking through the Ridley's area now that he's killed Ridley and got the items from that boss fight. Now he's gonna make his way along with the super missiles as well over to Kraid. Now, Grave, do you do the acid worm skip?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're going to talk about that here in just a minute.
Yeah, that is not the most fun skip to do. It is a very, very precise skip that requires you to bomb jump off of a ledge that is kind of already difficult to get to, and then have to unmorph in midair to be able to ledge grab onto an area that you're not supposed to get to yet, without doing a mini boss that takes about a minute and a half to route through. So we'll see that here in a couple minutes once he gets there. It is not a fun trick to do, and if you mess it up, you fall in acid or lava, and so
and the problem is those bombs that you wind up using destroy the platform. So in order to try it again, you have to reset the entire room.
Yeah, so skipping Acid Worm can save a minute and a half, but if you mess it up, you can easily eat all of that time away and potentially die as well. During the tournament for this game, when this was the game of the month, during the race, I ended up becoming behind Jake in our 1v1 match in the tournament because I messed up Acid Worm Skip 6 times.
Yeah, it is no question the hardest skip in the entire game.
Yeah.
And the problem is so much hinges on it. Because none of us, and I mean none of us, even after the Zero Mission community started complaining at us for like trying it instead of just doing Acid Worm, none of us learned where Acid Worm even is.
Yeah. Like I fought Acid Worm on a casual playthrough, but I didn't remember the route to it, and so I just learned the skip, and I just did that.
I thought they called it Acid Worm Skip initially because you are essentially doing the worm over acid with the block catches.
Oh yeah, that would make sense. Jake now is just beating the Imago one and heading down to Ridley's area down in Norfair. Meanwhile, Grave is now platforming through the beginning area, picking up an E-tank that was previously inaccessible unless you came back here with bombs, and is now about to head down to Kraid. Or more importantly, the Acid Worm skip. I believe Jake took that safety save, which makes a lot of sense. This place is very deadly. Grave here also taking the safety save right before Acid Worm skip, which definitely makes sense. You see this rail right above where Grave is? That is what the Acid Worm would unlock. There's a sort of a zip line that goes across it that you can grab onto, and that would allow you to bypass these blocks that he has to precariously move over. He has to roll off of there and morph, and then unmorph in between each block to be able to grapple onto the corner of the next one. And so he has to do that for all 4 of those. And then on the last one, he has to do this bomb jump off of just the edge of it, while maintaining enough vertical momentum by unmorphing to be able to grapple onto the ledge on the far end.
Oh yeah, it's coming.
First try. Nice. That is fantastic.
It cannot be understated how difficult that one actually is.
Yeah, exactly. And was that a single bomb jump too?
No, I do the 4.
Oh, okay. Definitely
Jake goes for the single. I've never felt confident enough to try that.
I did the single because that's the only one that I learned. I never learned the timing of anything else, and I just kind of winged it with a single one. Which is probably why I failed it like 6 times in my race months ago. And Grave just now picked up another unknown item. That one will be Space Jump once he gets the full suit at the end of the game. Because each of these unknown items do unlock a different item that they get at the very end of the game when they get their fully powered suit. Meanwhile, Jake is past getting his super missiles and is now getting the second pack of super missiles for a total of 4 before he heads down to Ridley. And Grave is now going into the Kraid boss fight, which the strategy for this is to just unload a bunch of ammo into his face right at the beginning. It is possible to do a Kraid quick kill here by just spamming missiles and running forward as fast as possible, but it's pretty easy to get the timing off a little bit so he doesn't die to it, and then you have to actually fight him proper, which is by standing on the weird belly spikes that he shoots out and stick into the wall, and use those as platforms to be able to shoot him. Jake now going into the Ridley fight room that's right behind him, where you first get the items and then you fight Ridley as you're coming out. Meanwhile, Grave just picked up the speed booster, so now he's able to sprint very fast and run through enemies while killing them, while also being able to shine spark, which is this effect where you can fly through the air. And now he's going to do this trick where he attempts to gain a shine spark in this room below that he's in right now, where he has to run on this little sloped area to build up a shine spark, and then jump up to this upper area, and then use the shine spark to get across this room without getting the grapple, or like the zip line from the acid worm. And Jake just beat Ridley. He did a really good job with it. Did not miss a single missile from what I could tell. Bomb jumps over the wall to get out of that room. Passes over this save point as he's going through the escape. And Grave is doing the escape from Kraid. Grave is taking the refill here. If you go into the Chozos, even the ones that you've used before, it will fully refill your health and ammo. And it is really nice that you do not need to rewatch the cutscenes that they showed you initially, or they show you the points on the map for the next area you're supposed to go to in a normal route. I believe that Chozo shows you where long beam is, the beam that we all skip.
Yes, and it is one of the only required ones you have to watch during the game.
Yep. A lot of really good platforming by Grave here. Getting up these vertical rooms, no problem. Jake taking a slight detour coming out from Ridley. Turns around, goes through the correct area, the area that leads to Kraid, that crumbles away once you beat Ridley, showing that it is truly unintended strategy from the developers, as that path is not accessible until you beat Ridley before you beat Kraid. And now Grave is going into Torian, where he has to manage all of these Metroids. His way to what is normally the final boss of the game, the Mother Brain, which was the final boss, I believe, of the original Metroid 1, which this game is a remake of. Until in this game, when they came out with it, they added Chozodia at the very end, an entire end part that's after the main game, where you mostly play as Zero Suit Samus. Now, for these Metroids, the easiest way to kill them, or generally the only way to kill them, is by freezing them and then shooting them with the super missile. You can farm more missiles off of the ring enemies that are flying around. Generally, the green ones are guaranteed drops, I believe. Not all rooms have them, though. That said, the Metroids can also drop ammo, and do quite often. So you can use normal missiles or super missiles while they're frozen to kill them, and then refill ammo on their ammo drops. And in each of these rooms, you have to kill all of the Metroids before you're able to progress. And if a Metroid gets too close to you, it will latch onto you and drain your life, and you have to roll away and get it off with a bomb. That will knock them off of you. And as you can see, Grave is shooting this green ring spawn in the wall here, because they will always drop ammo. He's just not getting that last super missile drop, though. There it is. Nice. Ooh, a nice super missile drop from both of these Metroids. Nice putting him back to full before the end of this room. Perfect. Now he's at full health and ammo. Now this room is kind of a menace because there are multiple tiers to this room, and each one has multiple Metroid spawns, and you need to kill all of them before you're able to progress. So you need to go all the way to the bottom and while killing all the Metroids, and then climb your way all the way back up to get through the next room. Jake taking his safety save before the acid worm skip, which obviously makes a lot of sense. This skip is a nuisance. Can definitely make or break runs. Grave taking his save before he goes towards Mother Brain. Now for these Zebatites here, the glowing walls here, they each take a certain amount of missiles or super missiles to kill, but once you kill them, they are permanently gone. So you can run through, kill all of them, then go into the previous room where there's a bunch of green ring spawns to go and refill on ammo before you go back to Mother Brain. Oh, and Jake gets the acid worm skip very quickly. That was amazing. He still does have to go and defeat Kraid, but with how difficult Chozodia can be, it's very possible that he can catch up with this. With only 4 E-tanks, it's very easy to die multiple times in Chozodia during the areas where you do not have your power suit. Because you're not really able to kill any enemies. It's a stealth section. You need to stun them and avoid them. But if you ever alert the enemies, a lot of enemies will come, and it's very hard to deal with in the wrong situations. Because you're not really able to kill any enemies. Grave is now full on health and ammo, so he's going to go through and does not have to re-kill these Zebatites, so he can just go through to the Mother Brain boss. And now he's at the boss where I believe it takes 25 missiles to shoot through the glass. And these ring spawns, you can freeze them in place so that they don't keep respawning. These other little projectiles that'll fly at you, you cannot shoot those though. Those are just annoying. Although you can sit here directly in front of Mother Brain in her little glass tube thing, where the turrets will not be able to hit you, and you can freeze the rings in place so that you do not have to deal with them, but you do have to duck the Mother Brain projectile that'll shoot out every once in a while. Jake has now finished the Kraid fight, so he's about to go and collect a speed booster. And then he will be on a fast track to Mother Brain. Grave has now beat Mother Brain, and in this spot, even though you're stuck in place for a couple seconds, it still does charge your Shine Spark, because it still technically counts you as running the whole time. It just keeps pushing you back to that initial spot, or teleporting you back, I believe. So it does charge up your Shine Spark even though you are in place, as opposed to pretty much any other area in the game where that is not how it works. Which normally would let you skip about like a half or a third of this climb section, unless you hit one of these little platforms that are really easy to hit, like Grave did right at the start there. Jake gets a nice Shine Spark through the horizontal Shine Spark area that he on the exit from Kraid. Ooh, unfortunate fall from Grave, going about halfway back down this vertical shaft that he's going up through. Not a big time loss, but it is kind of stressful when you're in an escape sequence where you have a limited amount of time. This game gives you way more time than you need, but it still is a limited amount of time. I don't know if you can save the animals in this game like you can in Super Metroid, but it looked like you were contemplating it.
No, I wasn't going to have enough speed unless I destroyed that bottom pillar.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I forgot you need to be in the speed suit to get through there. Jake making pretty good work of this vertical shaft heading up towards Torian. And Grave Ash is now in the escape, or past the escape sequence, and is now heading towards Chozodia, where he gets to do the suitless section. Jake is now hitting the elevator down to Torian, where he has to go through rooms and rooms and rooms full of Metroids. And now Grave is onto this Chozodia section as Zero Suit Samus, where, like I said before, you are not able to actually kill enemies. You just have to use your stun gun to be able to stun them and run past them. And you have to be able to run through these areas without alerting the guards by tripping the lasers that will set off the alarms. In the chat, it's not a true escape section without saving the animals. I do agree. Oh, Jake getting caught by a Metroid. Pretty quickly gets it off of him, though. Oh, is that a map skip?
It was a map skip.
Nice. That's not very easy. It's a whole lot harder than it looks, for sure. Pretty smart save right at the start of the Chozodia section, because if you die here before saving that, I believe you would have to go back to before Mother Brain. Jake is now making it through, has made it through a couple of the Metroid areas. Ooh, Grave taking a whole lot of damage here from these alerted space pirates. And I believe there's no healing outside of the save stations on this. And if I remember correctly, it's one shot takes one E-tank?
Correct. On all accounts.
Yeah, so Grave is not able to heal until he gets to the next save area, which isn't all that far away, but he is also 2 shots from death.
And those shots can come in real quick.
Yeah, exactly. Grave does reach a save station, so he goes back to full health and is able to save the game. So if he dies, he just comes back here. But there are areas where there will be like 5, 6, 7 pirates shooting you all at the same time, which can really quickly melt your health. Jake making it to the save station right before Mother Brain. So now he's got to go and kill the Zebatites in this area, or in the next area, to unlock them and then come back here and farm for full ammo before he goes back and finishes the Mother Brain fight and heads down to Chozodia. some really nice platforming by Grave there, going through that room with a really intense amount of lasers. Any misstep will really ruin some portion of a run. He did save right before that, but there's a lot of lasers there, so any fall would set off all of the space pirates to come at you. Right here is around what I believe to be the most stressful part of Chozodia, because there's a lot of sections here where you really have to have to alert the guards. There are some spaces like this right here where Grave is able to go and hide in a little cubby, and it will remove the alarms. But there are a lot of parts here where there are a lot of space pirates in the area, and some places actually do force you to be alerted or to set off the alarm. Some honestly pretty difficult wall jumps in these areas, just like that right there to get up through this area while avoiding these searchlights. Those searchlights will also alert the pirates, and it can be a huge disaster in these areas. Jake onto his mother brain fight. He is now shooting, breaking the glass. Sorry, go ahead.
I had a lot of trouble with wall jumps when we initially learned this.
Yeah, they're kind of wonky in this game.
For some reason, now that I've come back to it, I've been nailing them pretty much all the time.
Yeah, it definitely feels quite a bit different from Super Metroid. And completely different from Hollow Knight, which is another game that we all have run at one point throughout this past year, and will be.
Hollow Knight, they give them to you free. You don't have to do anything extra.
Yeah, because on Hollow Knight you just have to hold the direction towards the wall and just press jump, which is pretty intuitive. Whereas in this game you need to be close to a wall and then jump after pressing away from the wall.
And it's a fast timing on this compared to Super Metroid, and Super Metroids aren't easy.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to be quick and consistent to chain these wall jumps like Jake is doing right now. Yeah, those are fantastic wall jumps for this escape climb. And I feel like the game just had him go straight through this block. That's really unfortunate. Ooh, nice
but coming up's the real one. Yeah, I got lucky.
Oh, yeah, they're still able to shoot you though below or when you're crawling below. Only one shot though, that's not bad. Even aside from that one fall that Jake made, that was still a bit more of a clean escape sequence than Grave had. And now Jake has now hit the spaceship and is about to head off to Chozodia. Nice jump there, Grave, to avoid the shots, because you are one shot away from death.
That entire room. That almost gave me a heart attack.
Yeah, I don't know what happened at one point, but oh, nice. There was one time when I was making it through that room, and for some reason the block at the end got shot, and so the entire bridge fell out from under me, and I don't know if an enemy shot it or what, but I had no chance to actually complete that room after that.
The last tournament, I got really near to the end of that room. Or no, it was still on the bottom level, and I fell. So I had to run all the way back and manage to reset the room and keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes even small mistakes or something just not going right can really make you lose a lot of time in these Metroid games. In the chat, I can't take you seriously when you say space pirate. LOL. Space pirates with space lasers. Yeah. I always thought it was kind of interesting, the naming conventions for these games, but
They didn't expect anyone to ever care about the lore.
right?
Like they were still running the hype train of like, oh my god, a woman can be a hero.
Yeah, exactly. And now Grave is on to the Charlie boss fight, where every once in a while this center insignia will flash a certain design, and he has to shoot it while it's vulnerable in that, which can be pretty difficult. The vulnerability windows are pretty short.
Wow. And I actually don't think I've ever had it go that cleanly though.
Yeah, this fight can be pretty tricky sometimes because every time that you shoot the insignia, there's some new attacks that that Charlie will do. Yeah, that was really clean. I didn't even see any real attacks. Like there will be like lightning that comes down and things like that, or the ball will speed up and swoop around more.
It didn't actually attack.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
It never did anything. And that's RNG. I can't control that.
And now after the Charlie fight, Grave now has the fully powered suit, which allows him to use all of the mysterious pickups that he couldn't use before. Oh yeah, it does say Kirby in the Amazing Mirror and when we're playing Metroid. For the next game, we'll have to change that for when the next game comes up, which will be, I believe, Super Monkey Ball. We'll switch that to the Super Monkey Ball category when that game starts. Thank you for bringing that up. I don't think we noticed that. But yeah, this is a marathon that's going on all day, so we're doing a bunch of different games. So yeah, we just forgot to change it from Kirby when that game ended. Meanwhile, now Grave is picking up the extra missile or super missile pack. Did you already stream Kirby and the Amazing Mirror? Yes, we did. That was actually the first game that we played today, I believe. That was about 3 hours ago, and we forgot to do that one. We had a two-person race on that one for, I believe, any percent.
Yep, it was 80%.
But yeah, now we're about 4 games into our tournament, or not tournament, marathon.
Yep, this is the 4th, and this one should be coming to a close relatively soon.
Yeah, this is a great pace too.
I took everything super safe.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. It's a marathon race. You can't exactly reset in these. And even when you do take things super safe, it is super easy to die still, especially early on before you get any E-tanks.
Because even here, 4 E-tanks equals 8 hits? That's not much.
Yeah, exactly. And even right there, Jake took an accidental fall on that room with a bunch of horizontal lasers, and so he had to do an alternative route that did end up forcing him to trigger the alarms to get out of there. And he took about 3 shots from that. And so yeah, on the outro of this of Chozodia, where Grave has the fully powered suit, he does have space jump and plasma beam and I believe wave beam and all that. And so he can just run through this area all the way backwards through the wave, or an alternative way from how he came. And so he's just running through all these space pirates. He's able to actually fight back now, and uses his speed booster and shine spark to clear areas. And Jake is making his way through the suitless area, sort of closing in on Charlie. Why the timers aren't synchronized? When we start each race, we just give a countdown to the runners, and we won't like synchronize them after the fact. We just kind of like try and get as close as possible by just starting the races. Yeah, and so the streams, since the host Jake Ward is restreaming them from other people's Twitch streams, the latency can be a factor that does cause issues. So that some streams will be, some will only be a second or two off. Some streams will be 10, 15 seconds off. And so we keep both timers on the screen just so that we know the actual difference from when they both started their run. And Jake does take a death going through one of the escape sections. There's a spot where you need to crawl over crumbling blocks while shooting blocks in front of you, and he mistimed shooting one of the blocks, and because of that, he ended up falling into the pit of like 10 space pirates right below him. And I don't really think you can actually come back from that. Grave making it past that worker bot. Those guys are pretty annoying. They are invincible, but you move them by shooting them, but they move a bit faster by shooting them with missiles as opposed to your normal shot. This room that Grave's going through right now, where he's bombing each block, it can be done faster by rolling in and out of there using a mix of bombs and shots and missiles, but it's so precise in timing that it saves barely any time that it's really just not, there's no reason to actually do it for the most part, unless you're actually going for world record runs, which is really not the point of this whole group of ours, where we each month, normally we would choose a new game, or we would all vote on a new game, and then we would get 2 weeks to learn the game. And then at the end of those 2 weeks, we have a tournament to see who learned the best or is the most consistent at these games. And so today's marathon is the 1 year anniversary, which is we're all doing a marathon of all the games that we ran throughout the entire year.
Whoops.
Grave taking the save room right before Metal Ridley, which is that is the actual final boss of the game, right before the final escape.
Correct. That is the last save of the game too.
Right. Will we run Kirby and the Amazing Mirror again? We won't run it for a normal event. There are people in our group who do still like speedrunning Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, so we might have little unofficial things or something like that for it. It depends on what the runners want, or if somebody wants to set those up. But I believe as far as an official tournament for the group, I don't think we'll be doing them again. Because
if we ever do, it would be usually on the side, or if we do something like this again. But I got focused.
Yeah, exactly. So for this boss, for Metal Ridley, his weak spot is that red orb in his chest, and the quick kill for Metal Ridley is to shoot a couple of super missiles into his chest. I think it's 6, but and if you time it right, you can shoot all 6 in there before he really starts to actually attack. But he is able to block them like he's doing right now, which does cause a lot of issues, and some of his attacks are quite difficult to dodge. Nice. Now Metal Ridley is down, and Grave is in the final escape sequence of the game. And now Jake is now fighting Charlie. Charlie is the sort of pet name that's given to this Chozo boss. And so he has to go through these shooting the 4 insignias. But although Jake is actually getting some attacks. Whereas Grave, when he fought the boss, there was actually no attacks. He just was able to shoot it fast enough and the vulnerable spots were frequent enough that he never actually fought back. But Jake is having a bit less good luck this time. There's going to be a lot of lightning strikes coming through. And a lot of them are interrupting the vulnerable timings for when he's able to shoot Charlie. So he did miss about three shots at the end there because the lightnings were roughly around the same time. And so it made that whole fight last quite a bit longer than it did for Grave. But he is through it. He now has the full-powered suit. Grave is getting rid of the final worker bot for this area before he goes and does this Shine Spark carrying. Oh, he drops it, so he does not get the Shine Spark. But
I never learned it.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, in that spot, you can skip a couple rooms here by charging a Shine Spark and then being able to hold it by Shine Sparking up to a flat surface or a ledge. Or not a ledge, but an incline, and then pressing down again to regain the Shine Spark. And so you can do that to chain Shine Sparks longer than you normally would be able to, and hold it for different areas. So because there's a spot in this room that you could Shine Spark through the entire door, through the doors and through this entire area as well.
And that is it with a 59:45 for me.
Nice, Sodar. On the stream, we're at the Metal Pirates.
Yep.
Which, for those, you need to sort of lure them into that corner in that specific spot where they're not able to actually attack you because they shoot in the opposite direction. Sky Knight X in the chat. You're expecting for more Kirby runs or tournaments. Do you have any alternative accounts to follow or new runners? Yeah, there should be a Kirby in the Amazing Mirror Discord, I believe, for speedrunners of that game, where they would probably host tournaments and have a whole bunch of runners in there that'll stream as well.
They do a lot of
for that somewhere.
Yeah, actually, if you give me a second. There's literally a Kirby speedrunning Discord. If you go to their SRC page for Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, their Discord is listed there. And that's where you're going to want to check. Is Jake trying to finish up here?
Yeah, he died. I think he save stated.
I save stated just to show off that Shine Spark thing that I just got. Not sure if you saw that, but yeah,
yep, you got the ball spark at the end.
Yep. You crushed me, Grey Dash. Yep. So nice work.
See, sounds like Hyperoom got you.
Yeah, so Hyperoom got me right at the start.
All I'm saying is you should have let me reset the other day when we did this. So you could have reset this one.
Yeah, so I died in Hyperoom, and then I died actually twice, like, after getting Ice Beam. Like, it was spaghetti. I probably lost, like, 10 minutes at least to death, so.
I don't think I died once, but I took every potential safety I could.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of you got acid skip.
Places. Yeah, acid skip we nailed.
Yep.
Both of them.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Both first tries, so. I mean, the rest of the run after the first 10-20 minutes or so went great for me. Like, I had several gold segments, but like by that point it was too late, so yeah, nice work though.
Yeah, really good run. GG.
Yep.
I'm glad we picked that one back up again. It is a fun run. I will say it's a bit long and can get a little bit tedious.
Yeah.
Because there's large stretches where you're really just not doing much.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
just getting to the next area.
But aside from that, it's a great game. It is the shortest Metroid game that is the easiest to pick up. Compared to something like Super Metroid, where you'll be looking at like sub-hour and a half, but it's significantly harder every step of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun to learn though, and we actually had pretty good participation back when we did that event in October of last year. So good stuff. But yeah, I guess we'll keep it moving here. We've got Super Monkey Ball 2 race up next. This will be an exciting rematch to watch. So yeah, stay tuned for that. We'll be back.